All right. Hey, good evening, everyone. Dave Wilson of the Ring of Hires show. Hey, tonight I got a great guest. I reached out to Christian Cleveland. How you doing, Christian?
I'm great. How are you, Dave?
Awesome. And she's from Deer Park, Texas. I have no clue where that is. I'm in Pennsylvania. Deer Park reminds me of the water, but
Yes, I get that a lot. What I tell people is just go to Houston, hang a left.
hang a left. All right. And tonight we're going to talk about what she actually does with HR technologies and AI, and then we're going to go into employee retention. And we'll be right back. Everybody knows right after this video. You gotta love those videos. I feel like I'm jumping out of something. It's so dramatic. I tell everybody, Christian, that cost me $17 to create that on that Fever app. I tell you, I love it. And I mean, this one guy, he's made 30 videos for me. I don't know what country he's from, but we can make a video within probably 2 hours now. He knows my ideas. He knows everything about me. We've grown together. And $17, that's it.
That's amazing.
Oh,
It's amazing what you can do now.
Oh, my God. All right. I'm going to jump right into this because I want to talk to Christian. You know, you said it's SDR Phenom?
Phenom. Yes.
Phenom. Oh, I was close.
Yes.
Christian, so tell me about yourself and what you do.
Well, I am a sales development representative at Phenom. We are based out of Philadelphia, and I work remotely here just outside of Houston. I actually am a product of the Great Resignation. So I was a teacher in a previous life, worked in the nonprofit sector as well for a long time. And I just knew that I needed to do something different. And I loved people. I loved talking to people. And so a friend of mine reached out to me and she was like, hey, I want to refer you for this job. I'm just going to send this over to you. I want you to apply. I think you'd be great. And I did. And it was a great experience. And in fact, during the process, I told him, I said, even if I do not get this job, I am a huge fan of Phenom, no matter what happens. The people were incredible, and I just knew everybody that I came into contact with there through the process of the interviews. They all had, you could tell the culture was so ingrained in them.
Right.
They knew what their North Star was. There was no question about it. Everybody was on the same page. And so it was an overwhelming feeling of, I want to be a part of this.
Well, I can imagine going from teaching algebra to doing what you do now. That's a big jump.
It is, and it isn't. I mean, so, during COVID, we had to flip everything, and everything became online, for our students. So I kind of fell in love with technology. Yep. And I became really good at it. I was teaching students in person and online at the same time, so it was wild. So I kind of just, like I said, I fell in love with technology. So it wasn't a huge, I don't want to say it wasn't a huge transition. It was
Right.
a life-changing transition, but it's also at the same time felt really natural.
You can sound you got a passion for it. You can tell you're happy what you're doing.
I love it. I really do. Every day I get to talk to people from all over,
That's
and those conversations are just so much fun.
wow.
So I enjoy it every day.
That is awesome. I want to introduce a colleague of mine, James. You'll definitely want to connect with him. He does some great shows, awesome shows, and he's a great guy. So if you want to reach out, he's a great colleague to connect with.
Absolutely.
And he does some great shows. So tell me what, the reason why we connected, because when I did a show on social media and I was talking about AI, about bots, about not being afraid of something new, software, new, make a change. You were jumping in on it and you were saying that you really enjoy AI. So what does actually the company do?
So we are a holistic approach to HR technology.
Okay.
We sit on top of your ATS because we all know that ATS is just a digital filing cabinet. It's not made for engagement. So we sit on top of your ATS, we engage with it. The way I like to describe it is, when I was little, I would watch The Wizard of Oz. It came on, once a year. And
I know.
I'm dating myself here, obviously.
I know, right?
So, at the beginning of the movie, everything's in black and white. And it's it's fascinating. We're all watching it. But then all of a sudden, the house drops on the witch and everything turns into color.
Right.
Well, that's what we do for your ATS. Everything kind of comes into color. It engages it. It just makes it all more user friendly, I guess, especially for your recruiters. I mean, your managers. But we go all the way from recruit to retire. So we're all about the talent life cycle, really.
Right.
And the thing that I'm really passionate about, and it's probably because of my background, is the employee engagement part.
That is one of the most important. And that I can tell, again, that's a passion of yours. You can tell because when we were talking prior to this, it's all about, I look at it as when we say AI to help, to assist you nowadays, because you even said recruiters get burned out, and that's the truth. They do. Some recruiters, listen, some of them get bad raps, but it's a hard job if you're in high volume or even professional. There's a lot to it. And if you could have something, just imagine you have a tool that can make your job easier.
Absolutely. I don't know why you wouldn't jump on it. And I know that people are hesitant about the AI, but I think it's just because of the lack of understanding about it.
Yep.
We're not about taking away the humanness of it. The humanness is the best part of it. We are freeing up your recruiters to do the human part of it, to build the relationships, to do those things. What we're doing is we're taking some of those mundane, menial tasks that really bog down your workflow, and we are using the AI technology to free them up so that they have more time for those important parts of their job that they're not getting to spend as much time on.
If you had to say, what do you think why some of the companies are hesitant when you're doing your sales? Is it a hard sell, or what do you feel that they're thinking?
Well, I think I think it's just the unknown of it. And Phenom's been around for 11 years. It's not anything new. We have some incredible clients and partners that we work with. We're a certified partner of Workday. So probably, it's an incredible ATS. So we're not new, but I think it's just the unknown of the AI technology and machine learning. But once you educate people on that part of it, once we engage in that conversation with people and they really understand, hey, this is not about taking away that human connection. It is about freeing people up to have more of that human connection.
And that's, you said that perfectly. And I feel the same way, because within a company, if you come up with some ideas and you might say something, hey, I saw this, like say your company here. No, We can't do that. I'm like, we didn't even talk about it. Listen, why don't you just hear it out? When you said about employee engagement, this is where I'm very passionate about is you have to take people's ideas.
Yes.
You really want, and we've talked about that prior to this, you want them to feel part of it. And if you can bring something new to the table that will make your job easier, it's a no-brainer. And I don't know at which level it needs to be able to get to be like, wow, maybe we should try it.
Well, I don't remember what I was reading, but it was something that talked about like 94% of the of employees would stay at a company if they felt that their company was investing in their career.
Right.
And then I think it was like 58% of the employees don't think that their company offers enough opportunities for upskilling, for education. And when I saw that, I was like, wow. Those are not small numbers. That's nothing to like. And so, and coming from a teaching background, where career pathing just really, you're either like a teacher or a principal. And how do you get to the other, places in the career it's just not clear.
Right.
So I feel like as a company, if you're not career pathing your employees, it's kind of like you have this sailor that is steering the ship, but you have no idea where that ship is going.
Exactly.
And so that's difficult as an employee coming in to feel like, well, they don't really know where I'm going. Well, I don't know where I'm going. I need some direction here. I want to feel like I'm valued and cared for by my company. And what a better way to do that than through career pathing and offering opportunities for your employees to upskill while they are at your company.
And I told you, I always say this, I don't care about anybody. I always talk about my age. It's always nice to say when you get older, you can probably say that. But I said, let's just say back in the 90s, I told you that we always, within a company, you always had training. We would always have training. I mean, you didn't have webinars, whatever you want to call it somewhere. Then it wasn't like that, but you had a lot of consultants coming to and giving you live training.
Yes.
So you knew you could grow.
Yeah.
Now some companies, I don't think they promote that enough.
No.
Show them opportunities why you want to work for us. We're going to build you up. If you're happy just being at the entry level, listen, not everybody wants to grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fine. But I like how you talked about that. You want that option. And what is the company going to do for you to get there? Because you're going to lose the employee. You're going to lose them.
And you have to make it accessible. That's the thing too. You have to make it clearly accessible to everybody across the board. My first day of employment with Phenom, I'll never forget, like, they were like, here, log into your employee portal. You need to upload your picture. You can, connect your LinkedIn to it. You can upload your resume. And I was like, this is fantastic. I mean, I have this whole employee portal. Now, the really great thing about it is it takes all of that information and it uses AI technology to also give me suggestions. It's kind of like Netflix. They give me suggestions on what movies I should be watching. Well, we're doing that within our employee portal. They're saying, hey, I know that you were looking at this job in customer success, but you don't necessarily have all the skills that it's going to take to move in that direction. I'm going to suggest this course and this course for you to take. And that's all within our employee portal. I don't understand why companies aren't jumping on this and being like, hey, if we do this, if we invest in this and in our employees, and we have a clear path for them and opportunities for them, they're more likely to stay at our company.
That's a big thing. And when I was looking at some of the numbers, they were saying 30 to 40% of new employees lasts within like first 6 months, they're already looking for another job.
Oh, I completely, that does
And,
not surprise me.
you know, I look at that, and you don't see many people with 10, 15, 20, 25 years. That generation is almost kind of what you have now with people at 20 some years. It just seems like you don't have them anymore. You know,
Yeah.
everybody's moving with all the new jobs right now because, you know, we talked about before with retention about the work-life balance, that word, you know, the culture. What is your company doing for you to want to stay and grow? Like, I want to grow. I don't think anybody really, why wouldn't you? You know, if you, again, if you're content, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you don't see a path, you get bored. I think you get bored, you get stagnant.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
You get comfortable.
Well, and it also can lead to burnout, you know, and I went outside, you know, when I got to the point where I was like, okay, I need to do something else. I started looking, I came to LinkedIn and I was like, I need some courses. I want to learn about this. And so I started taking courses. That's how I found
They're the best, aren't they?
They are. And that's, I found Aspireship. I went through the whole Aspireship process, and
I think you did like 18 of them. I don't know. I was looking at your profile. You got so many classes that you took from on the LinkedIn training.
I just think it's, you know, learning is so important. And as a teacher, you know, even as a teacher, we're required to take all of these classes to continue our education. So why should that be any different for any other job? Now, they require it for teaching. I'm not saying we need to require it necessarily, but for people who really want it, why not give them that opportunity? You know, and make it really clear to them what's available to them. I mean, I can remember back in the day, and I am dating myself again, I'm sure.
I have to learn how to say it like that instead of saying, well, my age, or evolving as evolving, you know, so that's what's funny.
Well, you know, I can remember, you know, thinking about, you know, advancing internally. You had to, it was just basically through word of mouth. Like somebody would have to say, hey, Kristen, you know, I think you'd be a great fit for this position. Why don't you apply for it? Well, that's just not where we're at anymore. We have advanced so much that we can do that, and we can automate that for your employees, which again frees up your recruiters. It frees up, and that's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, you know, you have people sitting at your company that might be a great fit for a position that you are looking for right now. And so, you know, fit scoring. I mean,
I agree exactly what you said right there, because when you said it, the people are there.
Yeah.
That is why the promoting within the company, you need to promote within.
Yeah.
There's really no reason besides, you know, I always say, listen, if you've done things right, you have your management teams, your VPs, your directors, everybody. You have your person that started out on the floor, now he's supervisor all the way. If you're not investing in them, why would you have to go out? Sometimes you shouldn't have to go out. You should be able to promote within. And that's just me. You know, I believe promoting within, and my company now, they really do that. They promote within. So I really like that part about it.
And those are some of my favorite conversations to have with people. I love to have to see somebody who has advanced from, you know, they started, you know, in sales working for a retail company, and they've worked themselves up to management. Like, those are the really exciting conversations to have, because I want to know about that process. How did that happen? You know, and a lot of times I'm hearing, well, you know, somebody told me about this job and that's how I got it. And I was like, well, but we missing out on people? Because we're not making it available to everyone. And that's what I like about my company. You can go on, you can see what jobs are available. It fit scores you, and it tells you if you're a good candidate.
Explain that real quick again.
So fit scoring, they're able to take your resume, and it basically, I think there's like 300,000 skills that they
Right.
fit for, and so it gives you an A, B, or a C fit. So based on that job, it can tell you if you're a good candidate. And so therefore, I know, hey, if I want to be in customer success, well, I'm only a B candidate for that. What do I need to become an A candidate for that job? And I can look and see what are my deficits. And then I can go in and I can take courses on that within my employee portal. So
Wow.
I'm not even having to go outside of my employee portal to do that, which is incredible. I mean, so yeah, and I know not all small businesses will promote from within, but I mean, I think it depends on the business itself as
Yeah,
well.
Norma. Yeah, small business won't promote within. And Norma, I kind of agree with, like,
Yeah,
well, agree with both of you.
yeah,
It depends on, but you're right. I mean, but there again, that I put that back on that small business. Listen, when I had the company here, you're putting, you're training somebody to become your position in a way. You know what I mean? Like, you want that person to be able to move up and get promoted within. It's going to save you. I don't want to say save money. But it does say at the bottom line, because you're not
yeah,
having to go out. You're promoting even a small business. Why not? Again, as a leader, I believe you need to promote within and find those candidates. I like how you said you can choose a B candidate. Can you imagine a small business that would go into that same concept and say, wow, what do we need to get? Let's just say working at McDonald's. You start out as a cook and then you want to be a shift lead. I saw today, I couldn't believe it. McDonald's down paying $16 an hour.
wow,
16. And if you're a closer, it's 17. So I'm like, wow. And then it said managers, what was it, 19 to 20.
yeah,
But they put it right out there.
yeah,
Boom,
absolutely,
boom, boom. So I gotta give it to McDonald's a shout out saying, look at that. You climb all the way up. But there again, it gives you that path,
yes.
you
And
know.
that's the really important part, I feel like, is that it needs to be transparent
Right.
across the board. And I think that's like one of the really great things. Sorry, kiddo going to college.
Yeah,
So
right.
he was home for the weekend for my birthday. And so he's like, bye, I'm leaving.
Even. That's
But
funny.
I feel like it needs to be accessible to everyone. It
Right.
needs to be transparent across the board, to make it a really fair playing field for everyone.
Right.
Uh, that's the other issue. I feel like, if it's word of mouth, sometimes not everybody learns about it at the same time. Well, is that really fair? Probably not. You
Right.
know, if you're making it accessible to everyone, all at the same time, everybody can see it at all times. That's a whole new level of transparency as well.
It is. And I wrote this, I had to remember what it was. So I was looking at, well, when I was looking up a lot about retention and all that, how they were saying Gen X, Gen Z, your millennials and boomers.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, I am a Gen X, 1965 to 1980.
Mhm.
But the millennials and boomers, my point there is some of the Gen Z, let's just say, right? They were talking about how they just want it now. They want it now. People within the Gen X, know some people know that you got to really learn. You got to really step up. You're not going to get that top position just like that,
Yeah, absolutely.
and it's all about the money anymore. Sometimes the salary, and I get that too.
Yeah.
I understand all that. But at the same time, I think if you offer that growth, knowing you can get to point A,
Yeah.
that's priceless.
And that's a culture thing
Right.
too. I feel like, and that's one of the things that I really loved about my company. They were really transparent. They were like, "Hey, this is what we want you for," and they were like, "But we also want you looking towards your future.
Right.
Where do you want to be a year from now? I want you to start." And I will never forget, one of my bosses said, "We want you to start dreaming about your future now." And
Okay.
I was kind of like, you care, you want me to start dreaming about my who are you and what is
Who are you?
is this like some weird trick? I mean, is this like some Jedi mind game thing you've got going? But
Oh my God, it's so funny.
It was incredible. And they really, and this is something that that everybody across the board believes in. And so I feel really valued. And I feel like when you feel really valued as an employee,
Right.
you want to give more. You know, you want to give.
You'll go that extra mile. You will do what it takes.
Absolutely. But that's a culture thing. And when you are, I feel like when you're giving these opportunities to your employees, you're building that culture, the same kind of culture. And so, like, what I was telling you a little bit about the gigs.
Explain that.
So, you know, I talked about the fit scoring, how they can fit score you. And let's say marketing has like a short-term project that they want to do and they need some help with it. They'll post that in our employee portal. Well, if it's a good fit based on, you know, my LinkedIn and my application and my resume, then they'll offer up those gigs to me and say, hey, you know, this gig is a good fit for you. You should try to do this. So I may have never thought, oh, you know, maybe I should look at something in marketing as well. I have the skills for that. But according to the fit score, I'm an A score for marketing.
I love it.
I can go in and I can do a short-term project and see if it's something that I enjoy. And if it's something I enjoy, well, maybe, you know, a year down the road, that's what I want to move into next.
And that is a smart idea. I love it.
Brilliant.
Because it gives you it gives you that little bit of, okay, you think you can do marketing? Hey, here you go. It might not be, but it's a great challenge.
It is. You know, it is. And what a brilliant thing for an employer to do for its employees.
Right.
Because they're not going outside of the company to find those opportunities. Those opportunities are built in to the employee portal for them, and it's offering up those opportunities for them. And it also, the great thing that I think this is brilliant too. Because now so many people are working from home.
Right.
You're getting to work with people that may work on the other side of the country. You're getting to know people within your organization that you would have not gotten to know otherwise. Like, what a great experience that is.
I love it. Norma says absolutely true. And you're probably agreeing with everything that we said, Norma, because it's a great subject. But I like how they do that. It just puts it out there. Because a lot of employees, I think, struggle about they don't step up. They don't come forward and tell their bosses, you know, hey, is there something that we can talk about growth for myself?
Yeah.
You know, they should. It's nice that the company offers that, but you know, for those people, you need to speak up.
Yeah.
You might be able to get that. Somebody might be able to say, okay, you know what? We didn't know you'd be interested in that. Let's get you some training in that more. And I believe that will retain a lot more employees for you.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I feel like this, like just within probably, I mean, I see it on LinkedIn all the time. I mean, people are looking for those opportunities. Oh, they're begging for them. And if companies don't start paying attention to this, I think they're going to be left behind.
Well, Christian, you know, I was looking, it was so funny. You know how you get those job things on LinkedIn pops up. And so every time I see these remote positions recruiters, right? Naturally, you're just looking at them. But then when you click on it, 486 applicants within the first hour, I'm like, oh my God. Everybody thinks that working remote is so easy. You know, we had that short conversation. It's not as easy as people think. I don't want it. I told you, I'm like, I want out of this friggin' place. I was in here for 2 years. I want to go to an office and complain that I have to take a drive. But it's nice to have that option. My boss is always like, hey, you can work from home a couple of days if you want. And it's nice to have the option.
Yeah, you know? I agree. And for people like me, you know, that have children, you know, I have a son that plays college baseball. And for the first time, like, I'm going to be able to pick up and work from wherever he's playing. So when he's playing at LSU, you best believe I'm going to be at LSU watching him play baseball and working on my laptop. But that's a great opportunity for people.
Yeah. And I think you need to work, you need to prove it. It's a lot of work, but
Yeah.
as long as you're showing the results, you know, you will get some of those people jobs leave to go there to another company. You know,
Yeah.
they're going to make that jump as a recruiter, knowing that they have that flexibility. And you know, prior COVID, I don't know how many more years we're going to constantly say this with COVID, but you know, you didn't talk about culture. You didn't talk about work-life balance. Nothing really happened until COVID. I mean, wow, I'm home with my family and I got my work done.
Yeah. I mean, it was amazing. You were like, wow, I was productive and
Yep.
I did it in my pajamas. You know, it
I
all
love it.
shifted. Everything changed. And you know, I mean, I saw it a lot just from, you know, from a teaching aspect as
Right.
well. You know, so I saw the good, I saw the bad, but everything shifted, you
Right.
know, and um, I think people really value, you
Yeah.
know, their time. And, you know, it was so funny for the first time this year, I took a vacation where I wasn't constantly checking my email. Like as a teacher, like
I did that this year. I loved it.
it was incredible. And my boss told me, he was like, do not work. He was
We had
like,
my one boss a couple years ago when I was with the company. She literally, if she saw you online on your work, I'm telling you, you would be almost damn near written up. You do not go and check your emails. I didn't this year. I took a vacation from the company, and I love working for them. I don't have it on my phone. I don't even have my work email. I took it off. I didn't
That's
look at that email not once. And you know what? After the first day, I didn't. I didn't check it.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, we all survived, you
Yep.
know. I mean, it was fantastic. I felt like I could step away
Yes.
and everything wasn't going to fall down around me, you
Right.
know.
Yep.
But I think that's a culture, that's a
Yep.
mindset, that is, um, you know, for so long it was, you got to hustle, you got to do this, you got, you
Yep.
know, you always got to do more. And now everything's kind of shifted to work isn't everything,
Right.
you
And that's
know.
why I don't even think we talked about everything we actually were said we were going to talk about. I'm sitting there looking. I'm like, wow. I knew we would get into a different conversation, but that's exactly right. And it all goes back to, and we're going to wrap it up here. It all goes back to, like you said, if you want to retain those employees, you need to offer and give them the options of training and growth.
Yeah.
And that's what I took from this show. It was like, because if you don't, and I'm going to give you a chance to talk about your company again, is if you don't do that, sometimes you're going to struggle. You're going to lose that good employee, and that good employee has cost.
Absolutely.
Everybody's replaceable. I always say, listen, they'll take a small dip. You can leave and it goes down, but they're going to find somebody else and it comes right back up again.
Yeah.
But that's just the way I feel.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. And I feel like, you know, this has been so much fun. I've really enjoyed just getting to sit and talk to you about such a timely, you know, conversation. I think that this is something that we're going to continue to hear about for the next couple of years. And, you know, really the AI technology, I feel like, is going to continue to be.
Oh, it's coming.
And it's always progressing. And so I feel like, you know, some of these companies that are hesitant, they need to take a second look, because if you're not on board with this, I mean, look at Amazon, look at Netflix, look at, I mean, you're gonna get left behind.
Yep.
And so, you know, hopefully people will start to take it seriously and really, you know, kind of start investing in their employees and in their futures.
And I agree. And I'll tell you what, wow, 35 minutes. That wasn't too bad. And we didn't even do anything, but I'd like to have another show next week with you, probably just to go over, because we didn't even hit what we were talking about. We could probably have one next week and go into it. But, you know, I want to thank you so much, you know, for coming on and joining the show, because you jumped in the last time. I was like, oh, you were right in with it with that AI. And I was like, we just clicked like that. And I could tell you had a passion for it. But I'd like you just to take this time again, Christian, explain what you do and your company. and what you do in sales. And, this is yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dave. Well, Phenom is a holistic approach to AI technology. We are an added layer of engagement. We sit on top of your ATS. We make it come alive for your recruiters all the way through to your managers. So your recruiters are able to become more efficient because it frees them up. We can, through AI technology, we have a 24/7 recruiter. We like to talk about it with the chat bot
I love them.
That can conversate with anybody that comes to your website, that we can free them up through our scheduling abilities using AI technology. We're able to really take a lot off of their plate. So again, it gives them time for the human part of recruiting. Employee engagement is what we were talking about today. Having an employee portal with career pathing.
I love that.
ERGs. I mean, we didn't even get to talk about that. ERGs for people, ways for people to connect within your company, super important. There's so many capabilities there that we didn't even get to talk about.
And they can reach out to you right on LinkedIn too, right?
Absolutely. I'm on LinkedIn. We have management. It's the data part of it for your management is really important. Knowing your KPIs, you need to.
That's a strong part.
It is. Return on investment is huge. You need to know, what is my cost per hire? What is my time per hire? There are things like that you need to be able to know, and that's what we do here at Phenom. So
awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get together next week if you like to, and we can still. I cut down. I always get complained about all these trees. And I didn't even get to go over half of all the research that I did of it. That I don't think we hit 20 of the things I wanted to talk about. But again, Christian, thanks a lot. And I'm going to talk to you. Norma and James, thanks for being on. And if you are watching the show, please share the video. And, you have questions for Christian, messenger her right on LinkedIn, and I know you're going to be happy to reach out to her. So we'll be right back. I'm going to talk to you right after this video here. And everybody have a great night. Thanks, Christian.
Thank you.
Thanks. There we go.